Okay, how do I start this video? The Messenger used to be one of my favorite games, but now I don't think it is. Now, the game hasn't changed. I haven't learned any more information about it or anything, and it's not like I don't enjoy it as much as I did. It's just, well, let me explain. But to understand why, let me first explain why I like the game and then my problem with it. So, without any further ado, let's dive straight in. So first things first, Messenger is very good in a lot of places. For starters, and most importantly, the movement. You have multiple different ways to get around, and all of them link together so perfectly. First, the most iconic move, and the move that makes this game amazing, is the Cloud Step. If you attack something while in the air, you'll be able to double jump. And if you attack something else, you'll be able to triple jump, and attack something else, you'll be able to quadruple jump, and so on. So you can stay in the air forever as long as you keep hitting something and keep jumping. This means as long as you are attacking enemies, you can just speed right through levels and over obstacles. It's great. And a lot of the challenges in this game rely on this ability. It's amazing, it's a great idea, and I can't believe more games haven't used it. It's genius, it's fun, and this is why I loved this game when I first played it. But of course, this isn't the only move. There's plenty of other moves that are complementary to this move. Like there's a glide ability, which allows you to glide further, which is great, but also it allows you to attack downwards, which is just another way to attack things and thus keep jumping and thus stay in the air for longer. There's also this grappling hook thing. It's not called a grappling hook, but it's a grappling hook. You just throw it at things in front of you and you'll pull yourself towards them. This is great for many reasons. For starters, it allows you to stay in the air longer because you have to hit things to stay up. But if the thing you have to hit is too far away, just use this. You'll hit it. But also, throughout the levels, you'll find these weird loops. If you grapple them, instead of just grappling towards it, you'll grapple through it and you'll be sent flying. This is one of the fastest speeds you can get in the game. So if you use that and go super fast, you can just keep hitting things and jumping to retain that speed. It's a lot of fun. It's really fun, but really hard. It's a great idea for the game. It's a great mechanic. I love it. Also, the level design has to be designed with this moveset in mind to best utilize it. And it kind of does. The level design isn't perfect. There's lots of times where I just wish it was different, but it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for the moveset. I mean, you don't need it to be perfect. The moveset's already perfect that you could just get over any bad obstacle. It's great. As long as you have great moveset, you don't need great levels. Well, kind of, but we'll get to that later. But anyway, what do you do in this game? Well, when you boot it up, you're a ninja. Obviously, I assume most of you can tell that already. Anyway, you get taught about the Cloud Step, and then you have to start doing your training. But before you do, the Demon King attacks. But don't worry, the Western hero comes to save the day. He, or she, I can't really tell, attacks the Demon King and saves the day. It's not technically saved, the place is still on fire, but still, whatever. The Western hero gives you this scroll and tells you to take it to the top of the mountain. You are the messenger. You see, this happens a lot. It's like a tradition where every once in a while, the Demon King will show up, the Western hero will come, save the day, and they give some messenger this scroll to take to the top of the mountain. And this time, you were chosen to be the messenger. So, there you go. Game started. And when you start playing, you don't really like the moveset that much. I mean, you have the Cloud Step, but that's really the only move you have. I mean, you can also attack, but whatever. You get these more moves not by unlocking them from some kind of ritual or magic or anything like that. No, you talk to the shopkeeper. Oh yeah, he's really cool. There are these magic doors just throughout the world that lead you to this shop. And here's where you meet the shopkeeper. This guy is very interesting because he has some of the best dialogue I've ever seen in any game ever. There's so much. Throughout the game, you can ask him to tell you a story and he'll tell you lots of in-depth, really good, really long stories. Like, there's a lot of them. I just find it insane that he has so many stories to tell you. Like, how many did they write for this game? I don't know. But if you do end up playing this game, then you probably should read as many stories as you can, because even though it does break the pacing of the game, why can I not speak? Even though it breaks the pace of the game, which is a little annoying, they are good stories, and I do suggest reading them. Oh, you can also buy upgrades from them. And, you know, they're good upgrades, but they're just normal upgrades. Things like more health or more shurikens or things like that. Oh yeah, you also have shurikens, which you can throw, which yeah, I don't even know what else to say. They're fine. But also, throughout the game, when you get to a wall that you can't cross, he'll just sometimes give you a new ability for free. Why didn't he give me these from the beginning? I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. At least I get them. And then the game starts opening up and becomes more and more fun. But eventually, after you have a lot of fun exploring these levels, you get to the top of the mountain. And here, you have the final challenge, the Tower of Time. The shopkeeper, along with two other shopkeepers, for some reason, create or make appear, I'm not really sure, the Tower of Time. Then you enter and have one last gauntlet to face before the final boss. You beat the gauntlet. It's really fun, but eventually you get to the final boss. The final boss is the three shopkeepers turning into this giant thing. I don't even know what to call it, but it is really cool and really fun to fight. But then you defeat it. The end. Except not at all. It nearly, not even close. Yeah, it really feels like it's gonna end, and the game even jokes that it's about to end, even though it's not. You're not even halfway through the game yet. Because after you beat the boss, you're allowed to jump in this hole and travel to the future. What? This is nearly where the game opens up, but we're still not there yet. You play through a few more good levels until you end up back at the ninja village. You show up riding your dragon because, yes, you get a dragon. But anyway, you fly there on your dragon, attack the Demon King, jump down, and you realize it's a loop. Yep, you are the Western hero. You then give this scroll to the new messenger, and he starts his journey. That was a really cool loop. Like, that's a brilliant idea, and when you see this, it blows your mind. What the heck? But we're not done with the mind blows yet. Now you enter the shop, and this time you get to open up the shopkeeper's wardrobe. Oh yeah, he wouldn't let you open it before. Like, seriously, earlier in the game, if you tried to open it, he would just annoy you to stop you from opening it. And so eventually he gives you a long block of text that you have to read, and you can't quickly skip through, which is just hilarious. And he even tries to loop his text to trick you into thinking that he's done talking, but it's a whole thing. It's amazing. This game has great writing. Oh, and also during the Tower of Faith, when he isn't in the shop, if you try to open it, he'll just walk in and just catch you to stop you. It's great. But anyway, now you finally get to open it. Inside, it's robes. Yeah, I don't know what you expected. It's a wardrobe, and this is the only thing he wears. Of course, it's what it is. But anyway, you get to put on one of the robes, and you're the new shopkeeper. And now the messenger walks in, talks to you, and what the heck? This is another amazing revelation. Yes, the Western hero is the previous messenger, but the Western hero also turns into the new shopkeeper. It's amazing. But that would also mean that the shopkeeper you were talking to is the Western warrior from the beginning of the game, which is this is great. It blows your mind. It's a great revelation and a great twist. I love it. Great writing. Then the messenger comes into your shop a couple times, but then he just doesn't. The other shopkeeper comes in worried, asking why he hasn't showed up again, and there's a problem. Yeah, the messenger's dead, and you didn't save him, so now he's just gone. Oh yeah, you were supposed to send Quibble, I don't even remember his name. Yeah, this little demon thing actually is your extra life system. You get him at the beginning of the game when you first die, and he's really cool. It's a similar mechanic to Shovel Knight, but not the same at all. Instead of dying and dropping money, when you die, you basically just have to pay him. But instead of paying him with the money you already have, you have to pay him with your future money. Any money that you pick up, he'll just take immediately until you've paid off your debt, and then you can start picking up money for yourself. This mechanic is different than the Shovel Knight one, but it's practically the same thing, but not exactly. It's less annoying because if you keep dying, you don't lose as much money. But instead of losing more and more money each time you die, instead the debt just resets back to the whatever you owe. I don't know. I don't know how much you have to pay him. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But whatever reason, it's not as annoying. But I think I still prefer the Shovel Knight way, but it's fine. It's a different game. Different games, different rules. Doesn't matter. Moving on. You forgot to send him to the new messenger, so he's dead. So what now? Well, you have to be the messenger again. This time, however, the game shifts. You get to go in the back room of the shop and you discover a new area. This is where the game actually starts to open up. You have a set of portals, but most of them are locked. You have one shopkeeper standing at the door that's also locked, and another shopkeeper standing in front of this music box thing. The tall shopkeeper, I don't know any of their names. I don't even know if they have names. It doesn't matter. The tall shopkeeper tells you need to go into the music box. It's like a whole story with like a guy getting trapped in a music box and having to play for eternity. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not a big fan of stories and games. I just feel I want to get to the gameplay. Whatever. Not relevant. Just know you have to get the music notes to open the box so you can go in and save the guy. Whatever. Doesn't matter. So now you have to go back and play through these levels again, but this time look for the music notes to unlock the box. However, it's not exactly just again. It's more unique. This time, the game's a Metroidvania. Instead of playing these straight linear levels, now they're open and you can go anywhere you want. Because yeah, you know that scroll you've been carrying around this whole time? It's a map. And now you have to explore this map looking for these music notes. You take these portals into these levels going forward or backwards or any way you can find to find as much stuff as you can. There are these music notes like I said earlier, which you have to find to play the game, but there's also these hidden coins that you can get. If you collect all the coins, you unlock this windmill shuriken, which instead of just going straight all the way through the screen, it's a lot bigger and stronger, but it like boomerangs around you. It's very different and I like it, and it's a cool reward. So now you have to explore these levels, finding new connections between them and finding hidden paths just to get to new places. And also there's lots of new things added to these areas. Most importantly, these time points. You'll find these walls or circles or whatever that if you pass, you'll travel through time. And this is the coolest mechanic in the game. You have to go from the future to the past and back again to solve these puzzles, I guess, where something is blocked off at one time, so you go to the other time and now it's open. Now you have to replay these levels, but now in a different time period, being able to solve these puzzles and explore more. It's a lot of fun. And they play with this time mechanic very well. Like one time there's this dark area that you can't do anything with. So you go and talk to the master ninja guy and ask him what you should do. He gives you a seed and tells you to grow it. So you go to a different level and you find these two troll guys that are trying to grow this flower. And you ask them if you can plant your flower too. Then you go to the future and find the flower already grown. And now that you have the flower, you can bring it back to the ninja master in the past and get his reward, which is just a candle, which then allows you to see in the night, which allows you to go explore that other area. It's really cool. But also backtrack to those trolls you met earlier. Yeah, you can help them out. You see that flower they were trying to grow, it doesn't grow fast enough, but they refuse to eat the food without the flower, so they die. But if you pick the flower for them and then go back in time and give it to them, they'll help you out and send you to a new area, which just allows you to explore even more. Like, there's just so much areas to explore and so many different puzzles you have to solve and do all this stuff. It's a lot of fun, and it's connected very well, and I love it. Oh, and these trolls guys are just one of the bosses you fight through the game. There are plenty of bosses, and they're all really good and really fun. They're also really well-designed characters that are just fun. Like, there's Rexiton, which is a skeleton guy, which just tries to torment you while you're traveling through the caverns, and he tries to look very tall, but when you get to his lair and you attack him, he reveals he's actually very short. That's just amazing. But he has this weird staff that helps him out a lot. But when you go to the future, you see that he's actually dead. But his staff isn't. But he leaves his staff at the top of the mountain to help you out. And now you can use the staff to transport from the top of the mountain to the sky area. It's a whole thing. Again, they've used a boss that's not only funny and clever, but it's also useful later in the game with the time travel mechanic. And again, he isn't the only clever boss. There's also this mining guy, which is just a robot that mines, but you attack him because you assume he's attacking you, but he's not. And he ends up being sad because you destroyed his robot. It's so sad. Oh, also, you find this weird lady. She looks fairly human. So once you defeat her, what happens? Well, she has her own Quirble that resurrects her. What? This was a previous messenger who had their own Quirble. And like, what the heck? Do you fight this? What? That's a genius idea. But also, later you get this little bug flying thing, creature, I don't know what to call it. And it heals her from this evil curse thing, which is the reason that you attacked her, because she was cursed and evil and whatever. And this bug that you have turns her back to normal, where she isn't cursed, and now she can help you. And then she can help you out because later you find your dragon friend frozen in ice, because yeah, you had a dragon, remember? And you can ask her to break the ice, allowing you to get to your dragon friend, allowing you to let him escape. This is genius. So many things interconnect. It's great. Oh, but also that bug guy, where did you get him? Well, remember that dark cave the ninja master sent you to? Well, if you explore there and get to the end, you find this really weird area. It's really creepy in the past, but when you go to the future, it's very colorful and nice, which is just a cool idea. But when you get to the end of that area, you find this giant moth or butterfly. It's probably a butterfly, but I'm not sure. But you actually find out that it's not always a nice creature. If you go to the past, it's a bat. So now you have this boss fight where you're trying to attack it during the past so that it turns to the future, so it's nice. But then it'll change it back to the past, so it's still evil, and so on and so forth. And if you defeat it, this bug guy comes and joins you in your party and tries to help you. That's genius. This whole game is genius. Also, while you're exploring these areas, sometimes you'll find these builder guys. After you find a few of them, they can help build a bridge for you. After you cross this bridge, you end up in this like overgrown area. It looks really cool. But at the end of it, you find the Demon King. Yeah, the Demon King isn't in hell or any other fireplace. No, he's in this weird jungle looking area. Why is he here? I don't know. It doesn't matter. And when I played, I assumed this was the final boss because of course it's the Demon King. He was the guy at the beginning. He looks like the final boss. So you fight him, defeat him, and you get his crown, but that's not the end of the game. Instead, you can use this crown to unlock one of the doors inside of this tower area. I think it's the Tower of Time. I'm not even sure where we're at. I'm not sure. Anyway, this allows you to go into another area. This is a really dark area, which is also really cool, and you have to travel through the past and time and have these weird gateways between time. It's really weird. And then it ends with a chase sequence with a giant monster thing, which is terrifying, but it's not the end of the game. It still carries on. Like, seriously, there's so much interesting stuff with lots of genius mechanics, and everything connects very well. It's very good, but it's not perfect. And here is where I'm going to talk about the flaw with this game, the thing that made me not like it nearly as much as I should have. It's a Metroidvania. Now, I have nothing against Metroidvanias. Metroidvanias are great. I love many of them. I've talked about many of them, but I don't think it's done very well here. You see, you have this hub area, which is the Tower of Fate. I mean, Tower of Time, not Tower of Fate. That's a Shovel Knight thing. Anyway, this Tower of Time area is your hub. This is where all the portals are. These portals allow you to go to some levels, but not every level. So many of the levels you have to backtrack and play through the levels you've already played a ton. This is a big problem with Metroidvanias. Metroidvanias are great because it allows you to use your memory. You have to remember this real area and actually try to navigate it by yourself. But sometimes you have to read a map and try to find the best way to get from spot A to spot B. This kind of gameplay is a lot of fun for a lot of players. However, there's two problems with it. Because of course, the fun is remembering how to get to places. It requires you to go through the same places multiple times, which can be annoying. But also because the fun is you figuring out where to go. If you get it wrong, you'll be wasting a lot of time. This game solves the second problem. You basically always know where to go, for multiple reasons. One, you can see every entrance on the map. So if you look at a map, you can see all the entrances that you can go explore and find new stuff in. Which means if you just look at the map, you'll always know where you should and it could go. But if you don't know, you can talk to the tall shopkeeper. He'll give you a riddle about where the next music note is. You could try to figure it out, or you could just pay the regular shopkeeper to tell you exactly where it is. Actually, you can pay him to do a lot. You can pay him to add these green coins to the map so you know exactly where all the green coins are. You can ask him to add a number on the map so you know exactly how many green coins are left in each area. You can ask him to add these blue sparkles so you know every single room that allows you to travel through time. Oh, because traveling through time is very important. I mean, I've already explained that it's very important, but it's a little annoying here. Because like I said earlier, some paths you can't get through in the future and some you can't get through in the past. So if you get somewhere and you can't progress, you'll have to backtrack back through the place you literally already came to just get to somewhere, go through time, and then travel again to the area to actually progress. This is why these blue sparkles are important, so you know where to backtrack through to travel through time. This is very annoying, because that goes to the other problem with Metroidvanias, having to backtrack a lot. Metroidvanias can get over this really easily in a lot of ways. They could make backtracking very fun, make it very quick, have it not exist, and this game tries to fix it, but not very well. It has these portals around the map so you can teleport through lots of different locations, which sounds like it helps. It doesn't. Like, one of the levels in the game has a drop at the end of it, which makes it one way. You can't climb back up, which means the closest portal is 2 levels previous to that, which means the only way to get there is to play through 2 levels you've already played just to get there. And if you go there, find stuff, and then leave, and then realize there's more stuff you forgot, you have to do it again. Especially since there's a pathway to the right of the drop, which if you remember it, you can jump down and get to it your first time. But if you forget it and you miss it, you'll have to go through all over again to get back to that area. But if you try to drop down and go there in the future, you realize it's boarded up. You have to go in the past, so then you have to go back all the way around again, but this time jump down in the past. It's very annoying. And the moveset does try to help because obviously the moveset is very good and very fun and allows you to be very fast, which means you can try to speedrun through these areas, but it's still annoying. And that's the problem with this game. Even though it's brilliant, it has amazing writing, it has amazing mechanics, amazing gameplay, and it's just really fun to play, it has a lot of annoyances. Mainly this backtracking thing. Because if you're good at the game, you could just one-shot it with barely any backtracking, but most people aren't. I mean, at least your first time you aren't. And I've replayed it multiple times, but most recently I wasn't that good either. I had to travel through this area multiple times just to get to the end, to fail again. It's irritating. And that is the annoying part in this game, because even though it's a lot of fun, I don't want to replay it often because I know it's just gonna be annoying. In fact, I've already replayed it multiple times, but when I'm replaying it for this video, I didn't even want to finish it because I was just getting irritated by the end. But I did finish it because I want to talk about the ending in this video. So what is the ending? The ending has you get all of the music notes, travel into this music box, and then progress through the final level. This time it's actually the final level. It's a really good level actually, with everything moving to the beat, but it's also really challenging. It's pretty good. And when you get to the end, you find the music man, box, guy, hypnotized, mask man thing. I don't know what he is. I was not paying attention to the story. Anyway, you fight him. It's a lot of fun, but eventually you defeat him. The mask on him that I'm assuming mind controlled him, again, I wasn't paying attention, comes off and it leaves. Now you take this guy, exit the music box, and now everything's good. Right? Not yet. The mask comes out as well, and this time it's giant somehow. Now you have to fight it. But how do you fight it? Well, this is the cool part. Well, another cool part. There's already been lots of cool parts. The 3 shopkeepers, the music guy, the messenger that you saved, and you jump off and turn into the monster thing that you saw before. Yeah, the previous monster you thought was the final boss, now you get to control it and fight this mask, which is the actual final boss. It's not very long. You just charge up a shot, blast it, and the game's over. I wish it was a little longer, but even though this is all we have, it's really cool. And after that, the credits roll. The end. Except then it's revealed that this entire game was just a story. Yep. Remember all those stories the shopkeeper could tell you? Yeah, this entire game was just a story the shopkeeper was telling a different messenger. What the heck? This game has so many different plot twists, it's amazing. But with that is the end of this game and the end of my rant. I don't really have anything else to say, and if you haven't played this game, I do highly suggest playing it because it is a lot of fun. But just keep in mind, there is plenty of annoyances. But like I said, you should play it. It's a lot of fun. But with that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. So, welcome to the end. I'm actually recording this with my brother's headset because my headset has a weird glitch with it where it just goes in the background for some reason, and I don't know why. I've done lots of tests, and I figured out it's just my headset. I don't know why. It was in the last video. I don't know if anyone noticed it. Hopefully it's not in this one. It might be. I'm not sure. But it's been 20 seconds, so goodbye.